Hello. I think we're live. Let me just double check by seeing it on somewhere. I have to make sure that I see it go up. Not yet. But I think I'm live. I don't know. There we go. There. All right. Hi. Good evening. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. I am excited to be here. Last week we had a technical difficulty because I couldn't stay connected to Facebook while I was on the road, and I was sidetracked because I had a really big project for work and I was in the office on a Sunday. So anyway, just wanted to thank you for being patient. So as a result, I'm backed up a little bit and have a couple of things to show you. So let's get right to that. Before we get into paint pouring, we're gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna do some project reveals, then I'm gonna go through the paint pouring materials that came in a set that I bought and share with you my paint pouring box on my Amazon page and show you one paint pouring that I already did. So lots to get to. I think it'll be fun. So here we go. Hi, Lorraine from Schuylerville. First thing I wanted to show you guys that I missed last week was I made a bunch of bracelets, a bunch of different sizes, a bunch of different colors, out of resin with some different glitters and colors, and I was dying to show them to you. So let me show you those first and see how those came out. I saved these. Lorraine loves to pop these out of molds. I was going to let her come over and do it too, but Lorraine, you're not here. Okay, so there's one mold. Check that out. And let's see what it looks like coming out. I'm trying to keep an eye on everybody as they're saying hi. By the way, these are in there really tight. That's adorable. So there again is that beveled mold. So see that? See how that is really adorable. I don't know if this is going to fit me because they were all different sizes. It does, but I don't want to push on because I don't want to get paint on it. So it does fit. But look at that. That is awesome. Hi, Julie. Long time no see. Anyway, that bracelet, I love that it's thinner. And I put very fine glitter in that. I don't even know how the detail that you can see, but love that one. That one's fantastic. It does fit. Like I said, I don't want to push it past my joint because I don't want to get paint on it. So I'm going to put these aside. I'll take pictures of them like being worn later. All right, another one. This, I don't know if this is bigger or smaller. I don't know what the sizes are. None of these molds come with instructions. And by the way, a lot of people, hi Sherry. A lot of people tell me if you followed instructions, maybe you'd get it right. Nothing comes with instructions. Nothing for resin mold comes with instructions. So I am winging it on a regular basis. Ooh, that's nice too. That's a nice thin one. This is, what's even in this? This is those pieces from the dollar store that I made this fidget spinner out of. Those chunky little teardrops. That's what this is. I made them at the same time. That's how this one looks. Ooh, that's really pretty. This is considerably smaller. So I should write on them, right, while we're doing this. Right, Sharpie. Right, super small. Yeah, doing that now. Smallest. But adorable. If you have a small wrist, this is adorable, and I will mail it to you. Really cute. Just let me know. I'll put it in the mail. I love that one. It's hard to know. I don't know what sizes. All right, so we'll take an individual picture of that later. I don't know how you know what the sizes are. That one didn't get filled all the way. All right, here's another one. Different color. I don't remember what's in it because it's been 2 weeks. Okay. Oh, that's cute too. What is this one? This one is teardrops again from the dollar store glitter, and they kind of sunk, but it looks nice on that bracelet. Ooh, look at that. I'm sorry. These are really cute. Well, you can make one to match any outfit. It's adorable. Okay, so that's the dollar store glitter, the dollar store embellishment. This one also has the beveled surround. I guess they're all beveled. I thought some of them were going to be plain, but I've made them all now. None of them are plain. That must have been a different set. And then here's a bigger one. Pink. The other thing is, though, I didn't have enough to fill this one, so maybe you can see. See, it's not, the mold isn't all the way filled, so it's much thinner than it was intended to be. But I'm still going to pop it out anyway. This is hard. Is it really wedged in there? I tried to make 2 pink ones, but I didn't have enough. And what I was going to also do is fill the rest of it with clear. So you can see that's a little bit of a concave there. So I can fill that in with clear with my UV resin. But cute. Also not going to fit. Not going to fit me, but might fit one of you guys. So let me know. Or maybe somebody smaller or younger than me. Okay. Let's see. So there's your set there. Oh, these are really cute. Great. Adorable, right? Fancy. Oh, thank you. The purple looks great on me. Thanks, Julie. I can't get... Oh, yeah, I guess I can get the purple on. Oh, and I didn't save any. Sorry, Lorraine. Okay, now I have a couple other reveals. These are from last week. So I took this one out and made its own video. So I had a lot of this resin, and I made some more charms for sweatshirts and, zipper charms. So I have a couple of charms. I'm going to put some silver hardware. It would be really nice on these. Let me know if you want me to send you one. They're adorable. These have been sitting in... Oh, that's a cute one. Look, it's a heart with wings. And then some nice silver. And Julie and Lorraine can speak to how nice the hardware is, because I brought all of the hardware over to their houses this weekend. And we actually, set it out in parties and had a little bit of fun. Everybody just making whatever they wanted. But the hardware is really nice. So we'll attach the hardware to those. And then one final reveal. While hopefully everybody's coming in, getting comfortable, and leaving a message, and we'll start some paint pouring. One final reveal of these barrettes. So I had leftover purple from the bracelet. That one I over poured. Look, see that piece there? Which is fine. I can probably cut it off with scissors or file it down. This one just fell out. Oh, this one has an over pour too. See it right there? That's because I just rush through everything. All right, here's one more. No over pour. Perfect. That's really cute. And then what I wanted to do, because I don't often get a chance to show you this, I take this E6000. I put it, and I have a whole bunch of these clips. These plain clips, and I put it right on the clip and attach the bracelet. Barrette. Oh, God. Ugh. My goodness. By the way, this stuff stinks. You could probably be better off doing this outside, but it does stink. Oh my gosh, I just put a ton. There we go. And so this does stick to the UV resin. Plenty good. I'm going to just line it up in there. And that one will harden up and be ready to put in somebody's hair. By the way, yeah, my hair's up because it's 380 degrees. Thank you for sending me stars. Appreciate that. Whenever I get those stars, it supports this crazy habit of getting more supplies and doing more lives. No, thank you, Michael. And then you see that? And it'll stay on there. So I have... what I started doing is every time I do a different color, I started putting them in boxes so that come the holidays, I can either send people pairs or I can get one of every color and send people like a set of 5 or 6 with different colors and different shapes and sizes. So now I have like a whole little library of barrettes going. Okay. So now that we caught up from last week's Miss Live, I want to show you this paint pouring set. Let me put this away. Okay, so many of you know I've painted for a long time. I was a certified one-stroke teacher and did a lot of paint classes and special programs at the school and the senior centers and all of that. So I do have a lot of art background in painting, but I have never paint poured. And I had a conversation with one of the followers here on this page who said that paint pouring was was something that she could do because she had had a medical condition that kept her from doing all the little itty bitty dexterity things for crafting. And it got me thinking what an incredible share that she gave to me, that to think about crafting as being more inclusive. So with that, I was like, paint pouring is a fantastic way to be more inclusive. You don't need a lot of dexterity. You can still be super creative. You can enjoy all the colors. You can enjoy all the textures at any level of ability or skill. So I went to my favorite Amazon, of course, and I bought a paint pouring kit. Now I know you don't need special paint, and I have tons of paint from when I was teaching, but I thought, let's just get a kit. Let's do all the things that they say to do in the instructions. It'd be a much easier way for me to go through everything with you guys. So this is the kit that I got. This is a paint pouring kit from Amazon. I can't remember how much it was. $11 maybe. It had a whole bunch of supplies, which I'm going to go through with you, and a whole bunch, enough paint. It wasn't a whole bunch of paint, but it was enough paint for 3 projects. So I'm going to turn this camera around so you can see the supplies, and I'll read you the list of supplies and then let you pick the colors. So maybe you guys could start picking colors, and we can pour maybe 3. So let me say hi real quick to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining today. Here is my workspace. Hopefully you can see that okay. And here's the kit. So what comes in this kit is 3 art boards, canvases. They're actually bigger than this. They're actually the size of the box, but because I was demoing it, I didn't know how big of a mess we were going to make. So let's go with that smaller one. 7 bottles of paint, 1 silicone oil, which I don't know where it went, but anyway, it's a little tiny. You don't need that every time. It's a little tiny addition that goes into the paint for a certain particular style. 1 collapsible mixing cup, a design chain, which is like a keychain. I don't see that, everything's stuck to it. See that keychain? You would lay it in your paint and then pull it through to make flowers. If you guys ever watch paint pouring on either TikTok or Facebook or whatever, you'll know what that chain is for. However, now that we're talking about it, you'll get all kinds of paint pouring probably on your news feed. 3 straws, because you can blow air onto the project. 3 sets of gloves, 3 wooden sticks, and 3 table covers. I actually did cover my table with one of the table covers, even though I usually protect my table cover anyway, just because I want to roll up all the mess and throw it out when we're done. Not the project, just the mess. There are some different techniques that you can use for paint pouring, and that's the second thing that I want to share with you. There's actually a lot of techniques. In this kit, they go over 2 with you. In this book, they go over like 6 of them. You can fill the whole cup with color and just pour it. You can drag it. You can do 1 color at a time. There's a whole host of things. You can drag that chain through it. But this book is a really, really fun read. If you're not a painter, you're not into painting, you don't even want to practice on there, the book itself is still a beautiful read, and it shows you how all different kinds of processes can come out with different results. And so they're really beautiful. So this is a string pulling through paint, and it looks like a feather. Come on, we're not there yet, but I might have to try that. That's really nice. And then you have like different surfaces. This is a wood surface with multiple colors, and it looks like an ocean, and that was blowing with the hairdryer. But this book is also in the link that I shared with you. I don't know. Do I actually share it with you? Can you see the link? I don't know if you can see the link. Anyway, I'll pin it. Can I pin it? Anyway, you're going to see all the materials right now, but if you decide you want to see it, I'll also post it with the live. This goes up tonight. I'll put it in into the chat. Okay, so I already poured some earlier today. The book is separate from the kit. So this is $12.99. I think the book was like $11.99. And I think the book was maybe $12, $15. I think the book was more than the kit, but I really do like reference materials, and I like pictures, and sometimes I try to follow the instructions exact. So what I did is, it's a big old mess. you might want to pour in something. So I took an Amazon box. I just cut down the one side so that you could see it from there. And I'm pouring it here. I also laid a piece of butcher paper in the bottom of the box, because if I want to do more than one project, I just pick up the paper, move it, put another piece of paper, start another project. And you might not think it'd be a mess. You think you're going to do it all neatly, and you're not. Because that's what I did, and then I blew it with a straw, and I got paint all over my Cricut. Okay, so I'm just going to do, the last time I did this, I filled the cup, and I poured it here, and let it kind of seep out. But it is not like you see on the videos. I didn't have enough for it to, like, you know, roll down the canvas. So I'm going to fill it with a couple of colors, and then I'm going to drag it just to see what we get. So I'm going to do this pink. Anybody have a color preference? We only have 6. All right, I'm going to do pink and yellow so far. Anybody? I can add any other color. So as you can see, it can be quite a bit of paint to fill the bottom of this cup. But you don't want to pour it on the same trail that you just did the last pour. So see what I did there? You want to pour it down the sides. And the color that's on the bottom ends up being the most predominant color of the project. So they say. I only did the last color pour, and I guess it's true. It was very bright. I'm going to put some white in here too. Isn't it fun? It's like a big giant mess. Okay. I'm probably blocking me pouring that in there. See that? All right, so now we have 3 colors in there. Oh, I like that. There's no prep for the canvas. I'll let it sit for a second, see if it... My feeling is, with that pink and yellow in there, I'm going to end up with some orange on this picture. All right. All right, so instead of just flipping it over, I'm going to actually pour it this time. Coming out in its own good time here. And then I'm going to actually take some of this out and get it to drip. All right, we did get a bunch of colors there. A little bit of orange in the center. All right, now there's a lot of techniques to spread this around. You can actually get this little flipper thing, you know, the spinner, like you used to do down the shore. At least I used to do down the shore when I was a kid. You can get a spinner to spin all the paint. You can get a straw, which I have here, to blow the paint in different directions. Oh, and I just blew it onto my Cricut again. It went flying. You gotta be careful, don't inhale. Do not inhale the paint. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. So far, if I can bring this over to the computer. So far, it's a fantastic combination of colors. All right. If I don't stop blowing it on my Cricut, this is going to be a long night. Okay, now I'm going to go back the other way and see if I can get it to move that way. Now, because the colors were layered, every time I blow onto the white, I'm exposing those other colors. Do you see that? Because the white was on the top, so it's sitting on the top. But every time I blow on it, I'm exposing the pink and the yellow. Which is pretty stinking fun, I'm not going to lie. That's where we are so far. That is really pretty. By the way, I also read in that book, not in this kit, but in the book, that after these dry, you can put a layer of resin on this to make it look like glass. That's happening, I can tell you for sure. I've also seen a blow dryer. Okay, I have a blow dryer. Let's try it. Hold your ears. Sound coming. The problem I have with the blow dryer is it is drying the paint a little too quickly, so I want to keep it a little wet. I could see it starting to stiffen up, So let me keep going. Okay. I actually really like that. I think what I'll do is pour it again here. We'll use the same colors, and I'll see what else I can get, because I'm loving that texture. Can you see that? I don't want to really mess around. I like how that texture is coming out. I don't really want to mess with it anymore. All right. There is a lot of paint on this paper. Maybe I can get it down onto here. Probably not. All right, let's not screw with it. Okay, let's not mess around. We'll get rid of that. Let me get another piece of paper. Hang on. And let's do it again. I'll tell you what, if the second pour comes out as nice as that half, I'm definitely putting resin over the top of it and making it look like glass, because that's super cool. All right. We'll add pink in the same spot as before. So this is, to my knowledge, best I can tell, this is acrylic paint, a little thinner than acrylic paint, but I have tons of acrylic paint, so you can rest assured I am not going to work with just these 6 colors for very long. All right. I'm doing them in the same order I did the first half. Get in there. All right, here we go. Love when it gets to this orange here. And honestly, like, the cup is as fun as the canvas. Look at that. I love the colors. So this silicone cup, you just pop it inside out and clean it. It's so easy to clean. I'm not even going to tell you how much paint I have over here on that spot. It's not even worth it. Oh my gosh. That's awesome! What is happening right now? It's so good! Okay, hold on. I should probably wear gloves, but acrylic paint will come right off. Let's do this. Now, mind you, it's probably way easier to do if you don't have to hold it with one hand. You can keep it on like a pedestal. Maybe set up 4 cups so that it drips all the way to the floor and it doesn't drip onto the back of the canvas. You can also tape off the back of the canvas. We're not being very exacting right now because I'm just too excited to try it. I know we'll have a good paint protocol, but followed none of that right now. Oh, man. This is quite lovely. What are the chances I'm going to go pick up some glitter and throw some glitter on this thing? Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Let me make sure I don't get this on my laptop. There we go. It's very, as you can see, it's very texturized right now. Extremely wet. I could still move it around in various ways. I could drag that chain through it. There's a million things you can do to add texture to this. I think I'm going to leave this alone for now because I really, really like the color combinations. You could, paper towel in and of itself has texture. See that? You could touch parts of it and actually leave that texture in the paint. These are all, tricks that we could do with acrylic paint when we do backgrounds and whatnot. This is great for background. We could let this dry and then we could put an actual painting on top of it. But it's awesome. I love that. All right, let me show you the other one that I did. This one's going to dry. think it's going to dry. I don't know. I actually didn't read how long it said for it, let it dry. So the instructions in this kit came with 2 types of pouring techniques. One was the flip pour, which I described to you earlier. You fill the cup and then you just pour it over, and then you lift it up so that it spreads. This was the puddle pour, which is you put as many colors as you like. You put them in puddles. Well, we kind of did a continuous stripe. Pour them in puddles around and then air blow them and do whatever. Again, the hair dryer probably would have worked if I started with cool air, but I didn't. It was already hot because I had tried that earlier and the hair dryer was still hot. And then there's silicone. If you want to add silicone oil, adds like bubbles to it. So it creates like circular and round bubbles. So I'm not going to try that now because I really like how this one's coming out. I don't want to mess with this one. But let me pull the other one up. I have one on the floor here. Hang on 1 second. Also, butcher paper is pretty cheap if you end up throwing it out like this. All right. That's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. I'm really excited about this. Let's see. Any comments? Any questions? What does that say? Sorry. I'm just want to make sure. Very high if it involves glitter. Oh, yeah. You mean like it raining on it. So let me show you what I did with the blue one. Oh, well, spoiler alert, the other one I made is blue. All right, I'm putting the caps on this first before I go any further because we all know what's destined to happen. So this is what they give you. These, what did I say, 6? Right, so there's orange, white, here's the colors, gold, or whatever color that is, tan, purple, blue, and gray, which, as you can see, was a victim to the air blowing. Alright, so I'm sorry, 7 colors. So there's your 7 colors. Here's the one I did earlier. Alright, I did a gray. I was thinking like sky. I was going to see if I could get a sky together and then blow some yellow onto it like it was coming through. I don't know if you're seeing any good color clarity here. But this is, I don't think you're seeing the clarity. This isn't really doing it justice. I did gray, white, and light blue. And so there's like a trail of gray that kind of goes through the color. And then from very high up, I put it back already, I sprinkled like a very faint iridescent glitter onto it. These things are pretty wet. I'll be interested to see how long it takes to dry. What time is it now? 8:30. So I'm going to measure the time. I did this one at 7:30. I'll write the time on here. So we know, I can tell you how long it takes for these to dry. And then this one is 8:30. It's acrylic, so it shouldn't take days, but it'll probably take a good few hours. Acrylics you can usually also get to dry by hitting them with the hair dryer. So, but these are pretty runny, so I would just let it sit for 24 hours, see what it looks like in the morning. Also, the other thing that you can do, you have to make sure it's on a flat surface, unless you want the visual of it sliding. As it's drying, if you keep it elevated, it will slide somewhat. It won't slide all the way off, obviously, but it will slide. So you can constantly change the look of this until it's dry, so you can see how that goes. And then when it's dried, we're going to try a resin on top of it. See if it actually looks sparkly and shiny like glass. Okay. Any questions or comments? Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you. Any questions or comments? Again, this was about $12. I used half the size. Here's the canvas that it came with. It was big. It was big, right? It was pretty big. So I used like a 5x7. You can get 2 at the dollar store, this size, 2 for $1. And then I think they have even smaller ones. You can get 3 or 4 for, $1.25 now. So these were 2 for $1. This came with 3 of those big ones. Like I said, it's the same size as the box. And it's a great way to try it. I'm not complaining about it at all. I like the supplies that came with it. But I do like the supplies that I see in Amazon too. Now, this particular storefront that I have on my Amazon, it's the only storefront where I haven't used all the products that are in it yet. But because I had this conversation with a follower who wanted to talk about paint pouring and see it in action, and offer up the idea that it's more inclusive because everybody and every ability can do it. I it's the anyway, it's the only storefront that I didn't use everything yet. But that's not to say I'm not going to use everything, because I'm definitely going to they have ways to dispense the paint. So for instance, they have cups that have holes in them in unique spots so that you can release the paint in, a pattern that is directed by the cup or the pourer. They have things that go on the surface that you pour that would, protect a particular part of the canvas so that you get another, again, particular pattern. So I'm definitely getting those things. I'm definitely getting the turntable. I love this. I love teaching painting anyway, but I think that this is a nice party. You can do anything. You can have any amount of paints available. And if you have acrylic paints already, you just need a little bit of thinner so that it pours nicely. So with that, I think that was really the only thing I wanted to try out with you today. I really love it. I really love it, though. I can't wait to get resin on it. Any questions? Oh, it's messy. Yeah, Kathleen said if you're not looking at the chat, it looks messy. It's messy, but I mean, is it really a craft if it's not messy? Come on, it has to be messy. Oh, and I have my Meta glasses on today, so hey, Meta, start recording. Here, there. So now you can see I watch it while I'm looking. Now I'm looking at you. So I'll put that up on there too. Hey, Meta, take a picture. All right. Hey, Meta, stop. I wore these today to just, hey, Meta, stop. It's still recording. Just to get pictures. We went to a few 4th of July picnics yesterday and today, and I brought all the charms and all the purse charms and all the clips and all the chains and all of that stuff, and had countless number of creators making their own things. It was really wonderful. I can show you a couple that I made. So I basically just pulled this whole drawer right out of my dream box, as you all know, how I keep my stuff stored. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but on Prime Days, this set that I used was on sale. It was like 30% off. It was fantastic. Messy is rarely a deal breaker. Thanks, Kathy. So I bought an extra set of these, combined it into one box, and then took it with me to picnics and just basically spread out everything on the table, showed people how to use little tools and whatnot. I don't know where my finished ones are. I must have left them upstairs. And brought all of the resin molds that I had done also. So if people wanted a keychain and use resin molds, they could use those. I still have all of these, so if you see something on a page that you want it, I will mail it to you. So I still have a lot of things, including now some lip glosses and charms from this weekend, which was really fun. So we had a great time doing that. If you're going if you're going somewhere, and bring a craft and put it on the table, I think people can't help themselves but do it and have a little bit of fun. It's a great way to help spark somebody else's creativity, which is really why I embarked on this whole thing anyway, for making content and seeing you weekly and just sharing projects and ideas and creativity all across the household, in the kitchen and in the garden and at the table with charms and paint messes and all the things. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining me tonight. We can do more of these. I'm going to get some more supplies. I'm going to show you different pours. I'm really enjoying that a whole lot. And it's a great way to craft together. So thank you for your time this evening, and I will see you online. Thanks. Good night.